Baruch Hashem, Isru Chag HaSukkos Tafshin Pei Daled. Yesterday on Simchas Torah we started Maamer Ner Chanukah. We'll start again now to get into the flow, and Amir Hashem learned through Amud Kuf Yud Aleph and Kuf Yud Beis, which are the Amudim for today's date, according to the Seder Alimud of a daf every day in the Hemshech of the Rebbe Rashab, Taf Reish Samach Vov. Shabbos Parashas Vayeshev, Shabbos Chanukah, Samach Vov, Ner Chanukah mitzvah la'anicha al Pesach Beisim Bachutz. In the Mafteach, the beginning of the Maamer, the Rebbe writes that this Maamer is Rotze V'shuv Sh'beneshama, Ner Chanukah Rotze V'shuv Sh'beneshama. It explains the two levels of Ruach V'neshama in a Yid. So it says, Heichen Manach La B'Smol. You put the Chanukah candles on the left side. Kedei Shetehei Mezuzah B'Yamin, in order that it should be Mezuzah on the right side, V'ner Chanukah Mismol. Ner Chanukah is on the left side. Tzarich L'havin Ma Shaychas Ner Chanukah L'Mezuzah. What is the connection of lighting the Chanukah candles and having the mezuzah? Shetzarich liyas mezuzah mimin v'ner Chanukah chul. Mashma, it seems, tim loy mezuzah, if not for the mezuzah, efshar liyas ner Chanukah mismol. You should not have the ner Chanukah mismol, which means the only reason you're putting the ner Chanukah on the left side is because the mezuzah is on the right side. It's not understood. What's the connection one with the other? Side ner Chanukah to mezuzah in general. Side the right part of the mezuzah, which affects the left of the ner Chanukah. It says in the pasuk, "Kiner mitzvah v'Torah Pirush hashalah dehelka shalah zakt the Torah kamay avuka gedola." It's like a big torch or a big bonfire. It's a torch. Aval ner mitzvah kamay ner yichidi uprati. Ner mitzvah is a singular individual candle. Ulefize einei muvan lama makdim ner mitzvah, which is the smaller part. The small candle, why is in the pasuk does it come before Levitarah? Halil haktim Torah lemitzvahs. Just at first Torah, first the big avuka, Torah, then ner mitzvah. You want to go from the bigger avodah and say how we're going, we're serving the Eibishter. Ulavin calls that yesh lahaktim tchila mashnitz bar leil. We first have to explain what we said earlier in the previous Maamer. The tachlis agilud la'aseh d'bchinas ha'oinig v'shashlim ma'atzma bilti morgish klal. The last few Maamorim we introduced the idea of Tainuk, and then in the last Maamer we particularly discussed there are two levels in the Oineg Ha'atzmi. There's the Oineg Ha'atzmi which is felt, and the Oineg which isn't felt. And the Tachlis is to reveal this level of Oineg which is not to be felt. Gam loy b'tayim Torah mitzvahs, even something that's not felt, through the taste of Torah mitzvahs. It's not even concealed in Chachma, because that's al kapanim a makar or a shaykhis to atam. In order to reach this level of time mitzvahs, you can't do it through Torah mitzvahs. This oinig we said does not even come in the flavors or the reasons of Torah mitzvahs. It's not shaykh to hargasha or any seichel. So how could you reach it? Only through repentance, through real tshuva, returning, more correctly, to mashchin loy b'cheliyatir, that you schlep it stronger, shemagia b'chinas halamatzmi mamash, which that allows us to reach the real halamatzmi, this level which is higher than our gasha. V'hinei says the Rebbe, be'emes al yedei eisik HaTorah, through working in Torah, we can also get to this level of Tainuk Atzia built in Morgosh. We just said you need to go through there only through tshuva. So say, no, really, you can get to Torah also. How? Through being medayik, through harving, through working hard in these words of wisdom. According to what we said in the Maamer of Yidilcha, move on Sheish, through having extra haravanya or extra toiling and learning, you achieve two things. Aleph, through extra toiling, you come to the real truth, the real kavanah of what the seichel is meant to be. This is taka the level of of concealment of wisdom. So it's again just the level that's shaykh la'argasha. The nimshech misham oimek raseichel ahu b'yoser har ben b'chinas oimek yasher, was through going through the Orach Chayzer and working hard, you draw down this high level, which is much deeper than the level of Orach Chayzer. Yasher, sorry. Which that's only what comes through Helm of Chachma. Here through Orach Chayzer, we get through Helm Atzmi the Chachma. So this is like what we said earlier, that you cannot reach that through Torah and mitzvahs. But we said over there already, there's another Indian, through questions and answers, you cleanse the seichel. Question, all questions come from the Sitei Achra, which conceals. The more you get to the depths of seichel, how do you make sure you remove it? You remove the concealment of the questions. And then beyond this, that you reach a deeper seichel in understanding. You also clean out and sift through the dirt that block. This is the benefit we mentioned in the Ma'ir of Lech Lecha for learning Talmud Bavli over Talmud Yerushalmi. The Talmud Yerushalmi Chachma Berura, even though Talmud Yerushalmi is a Klar de Chachma, Shein Sham Elamas Vesterim, which has no concealment, it doesn't have the idea of cleansing. Bavli, when you learn Talmud Bavli, the Machshakim Shivani, which is sitting in darkness, all the questions and answers which cover over the truth of the wisdom, you have to work very hard. Through back and forth. Because just with the roots and questions and answers, the idea I give is that through toiling in this, you could cleanse out the dirt through your hard work. You could reach elamitis hakavana. So through this you get much higher. This is this level of shashurim atzmim, this level of oynega atzmi abilti morgish. You need to understand how this works. The kיא-קיב state. Ve'ele divrei David ha'achronim ne'um. These are the last words of David. And the words ne'um ha'gever hukam ol. And the words of the man who lifted above. But Amar Azal, what does oil? Oil also means a yoke. Shehekim ula shel Torah. He uplifted the yoke of Torah. Yeshlav ma'uinim ula shel Torah. What's the idea of that yoke of Torah? Umau shehekim ul. What does it mean that David HaMelech lifted up this yoke? The Mashra shehekim ve'elav v'igbar yisrael l'mayla madrega aliyah. Which means, it seems that he brought it to a higher level than where it was on its own. So I guess what is the yoke of Torah where it belongs, and what is lifting it to a higher level? We first have to understand Mashkatz of Neravai and Nishmas Adam. The candle of Hashem is the soul of a person. And we say, it's like a candle, which its nature is to go up, and also to go down. The neshama is constantly going up and down. So the neshama is comparable to a candle. It's always going back and forth. All the souls will praise God. It says it by Malachim. The chayos are going back and forth. There's just like a flame which is constantly bouncing back and forth. The neshamas and the malachim are always bouncing back and forth to go to the Eibishter. So it seems that the neshama is a fire. But he says no. We cannot say that a neshama is a fire. That you blow it in. Blowing happens through ear. Not fire. The meaning of the word neshama, it's breathing. Breathing in the nose and in the nose, the nostrils. Or like the spirit of life that's in the heart, which goes up and down when the heart beats. She calls him this old idea of spirit, of ear, not fire. The source of the neshama is taka only ruach v'hevel. It's ear. Like it says that the spirit will return to the Eibishter that gave it. The machma, the nisinus and beruach, giving it over is with the spirit. Omnam yesh b'zeh beis madrigas, there's two levels. Takeh, the ikir of the neshama is ruach. There's two levels, there's ruach and neshama. K'shkasu, it says in the pasuk, Achin ruachi be'enosh, there's a spirit in the man, v'nishmas shaket avinem, and the neshama of God will understand it. Ruach is belev, it's in the heart, and neshama is b'mayach. What does this mean? The ruach, the heart, in an amidus. It's the idea of midas, the way you behave. The call in an amidus. When in ispilus paslavus getting excited, she's like a spirit, like a wind. When a shama, who it's a seichel, in pchinas haseichel v'hasaga, which is more like kalt, more settled, more miyoshev. V'yesh b'mali yiseidim pchinas neshama, there is an extra benefit in the level of neshama, which is the idea of seichel. She b'chinas mamash. It's a light. V'nikra ner avayin, that's why it's the candle of Hashem. V'ayim b'chinas l'kis mamash, shenikra amer, it's the light of the Eibishter which shines. V'nimshech es b'chinas l'kiya elyain, and it's drawn down from this high level of the Eibishter. And that's why it's called the Neshama of the Eibishter, because it has the Hashem which clearly shines through it. So again, the Neshama is Taka Ruach, but Beika Ruach, but there's two levels in there. There's the Ruach part of it, which is the Midas, and then there's the more Miyusha part of it, which is the Hashem, which is the Neshama. From Hashator, the light of intellect, Vavana, and understanding, Belakus, in godliness, Kechacham, like a wise man, Hameir Einav Besechel, which is eyes light up through intellect. Chacham Bina is this level of the shine, the light of the Eibishter. The neshamas adam, and the personal light of every neshama, that comes from the general light. So now we see how the neshama is also fire, because it's mislabish in yun chachma. But the Eir Eliki comes from the general Eir of the Eibishter, which is the level of Eish. The foundational fire, which is the source of all fires that we have down here Lamata. With all this explanation, how the neshama is very, very much connected to Eish, the essence of it is taka spirit or wind or ear. Like I said earlier, that it's the idea of blowing. And what's pshat? It says, what's the difference of fire and spirit and ear? Fire's nature is to go up. To go upwards. It doesn't want to be down there at all. Like my rock, not like ear. Also the ear, the wind goes up. It doesn't go straight up. It spreads out in a big wide space. It goes in God's Lamaila. It's not that it's going up. It's leaving, it's exiting. But the spirit does not leave. It goes up a little bit, spreads out, goes back down. The wind is blown from top down, so the ruach comes back down. Why does this happen? Because the ruach, it's the intermediate, bein, eish l'mayim. Kaidot Badalti said this in the four foundations of eish, ruach, mayim, and afar: fire, air, water, and dust, or earth. So eish is the highest one. Eish l'mayim mikulam. Tachtav under the fire is a ruach. Tachtav under it is mayim, the water. So the ruach is in between the eish and the mayim. So it has characteristics of the eish, it has characteristics of the mayim. Teva eish, the nature of the fire, it leaves, it's gone. Kideva atzu the eish, because the essence, the nature of the essence of fire, is only to exist up there. Not to come down at all. Like the foundational fire, it's never down here. Even the fire which you do have down here, it's constantly looking to leave. So let's skip ruach, let's go to the mayim. It just wants to flow down, be as low as possible. Since it's an intermediate in Eish v'Emayim la'Eish, okay, Eish b'Beis Inyanim, and it's both Inyanim, She'oila l'mayla goes up, and Gamir l'mata, it also goes down. So this is what we explained that the neshama has in it both these characteristics, which is be'ikir ruach, but it has in it a level of neshama, a level of oir, which is mekabel from the oir shalamayla. But at the end of the day, because it's ikir ruach, it kind of has in it, aside from the mila of Eish, which has the element of oila, but aside from the mila of mayim, which is the idea of yerid. So we can understand this, how it actually manifests in the soul of the person. Like we said earlier, the ruach is belev, the spirit is in the heart. Uneshama, the level of ruach is in the heart. Uneshama is b'mayich, uneshama is in the brain. Dinei midas, your actions. Hagam sheish b'am inen eslavos b'espailos, even though there's an idea of excitement. Kaido the ikir inen espailos b'am midas tafka. Main excitement is not in the seichel, it's in midas. We call magim yesh b'chinas hatnu v'espailos the midas b'chinas halav hamshacha. Even in the excitement of midas, there's the idea of also drawing, going up and coming back down. The general difference of moichin, seichel brains, and midas in the way you act, shem hafkim zem said they're opposites. Hey bepulasam, sign the way they're acted out. Vein ba'atzam misyusam and ba'atzam usam, and also in their essence. The action of midas, like to achieve and to accomplish doing of kindness. It's only when there's someone else that you can work with, you can be kind to, or to have compassion. When you have someone that have rachmanasa, or the opposite, being strict or tough or strong. Also, God can also lost it's only someone else. Can't have kindness or compassion to yourself. This that you could have someone awaken, this that you could have compassion awaken on yourself as someone else. You create that the other person will now awaken with rachmanas on you. But you on yourself is not really shaykh. Even when you awaken rachmanas on your own soul, when you're far from the Eibishter, you're now like someone else from your soul, which is supposed to be connected to the Eibishter. You're not who you should really be. And anytime, even a tzaddik is shaykh for this level, because legabe where we should be with Asmus, it's not comparable. So shaykh said, you can awaken rachmanas on yourself, but again, the idea is someone else, an external thing, or when you're in the mind of the matzav of azulas. It's not shaykh that you yourself should have kindness on yourself or compassion on yourself. Also, when the Eibishter wants to awaken rachmanas, what do we say? We say, remember your compassion and your kindness because it's from the world, or from the beginning of time. It's pshat. But what does he mean over here? The idea that the Eibishter can awaken compassion or be kind. It's only when there's a veld. Without a veld, it's not shaykh to have rachmanas. It's not shaykh to have kindness. So this is the papulas, how the actions have to be bezulas, but also in the actual essence of what a midah is. Like love, it can only exist when there's something else to love. So the etzem amida, the love, has no makaim without azulas. When there isn't another thing, it's not going to awaken your love. The idea of seichel, is the opposite. Even if there's no one to give over your seichel, you can sit yourself and to come up with new intellectual things. Think. Even though we know through giving over, you gain from it, so it makes you understand it on a different level. Nevertheless, we clearly see even without giving over to someone else, you could still think or awaken lots of intellect. And very, very deep. And very, very deep thoughts. And understanding yourself. So, we clearly see over here in Afkamina a difference between midas, which you have to have someone else, and askalas, where you can do it yourself. This that you're giving over to someone else, it adds in your own intellect and your own understanding. It's not that the power of intellect requires someone else. Because we know the way the Hemshech created the world is that everything at the beginning is connected to the end, and the end is in the beginning. This is how it was settled in the way God created the world, that everything flows through through a chain, so everything on top is connected to the bottom. So in order that there should be an idea of mashpia and makabel, and that it should be successful, there's the idea that a makabel can add back in the mashpia. But it's not that the action of seichel can only exist when there's someone else. So like my amidas, not like the midas, like we said earlier, it's not shaykh to have any action on your own. Only with someone else. Their action is only when is even when there isn't someone else. So we see over here a difference in the way you act, in the action of the seichel and the action of the midas. The action is only when there's someone else by midas, whereas by seichel you don't need it. Now also in the actual existence of seichel, its nature is opposite of the midas. You need to come up with a new intellect. The other person confuses you. You want to be alone. Even when you're alone, you have to conceal and be mitzamtzim all of your other abilities. If any other ability is revealed, it confuses your seichel. Even the power of will, if it's revealed, it will confuse the seichel. Even the will to be smarter, to learn this thing, if it's revealed when you're trying to learn it, it will disturb you, you'll not be able to reach the intellect. When your will is concealed, right? The ratzon is concealed, but you still have the will. Only then, Yitzchak can be asking. When it's revealed, it confuses the seichel, and you cannot come up with these askalas. For sure, so ratzon is higher than seichel. Even that's mababel. For sure, you have to conceal them in order to properly be able to be maskil what you're trying to. Even the actual koyach of intellect, you have to mitzamtzim and quiet it down when you want to think about something specific. You have to uplift it to the source of seichel. Until, through this level of quieting the koyach seichel, kind of going through this element of bittul, you could now have the hashpah of seichel. You could now draw down the real askala, which could then start flowing again. Kinan Shasik Rav, like it says, Rav was quiet. He was asked a question, he was quiet, but not because he didn't know the answer, rather because some things you don't have to answer. And you have to, the psak din was emes, and I have to be ma'ir from the makar seichel to be able to give it over. But you need an element of shasik to get to that. I was quiet for a second. I was quiet and wondering or holding yourself back. It's the halasik l'mukar. It's holding back the flow and bringing it back to the source. And only through this, the seichel can continue flowing. Furthermore, the essence of the moichin, The essence and the idea is going up, going higher. All things that are the idea of cause and effect. Everything that causes is the effect from the level on top of it. Every effect, it's connected in the cause. What caused it? So you have a cause and an effect, but every time you create it, the cause makes something else come. This effect is still connected with the original cause. What does it mean it's connected? The three top levels of the effect. So the moichin of the effect. This level, this effect, this is the effect of the cause. And that's where in these Gemara Shainas, it's fully connected in the alul and the cause. So you're not even margish the idea that it's a new thing or a new effect. These three levels of the Gemara Shainas does not go on to continue a new cause or a new effect. It stays where it's at. What does go down further to continue the chain reaction, so to say? This is the midas. So again we see the idea of seichel is not zulas, not someone else, rather concealing and drawing back inner to the higher level. Shabbos, the day of Shabbos, why should in Hashvisa we rest from work, va'aliyah, and we go back up to the Eibishter, which is the opposite of drawing down to someone else. Again, moichin is opposite of drawing. It's the idea of coming back up. The called parts of in every level, in every sphere, the level of Shabbos, in every element of spheres, parts of is the 10 spheres that comprise Chachma, the 10 spheres that combine Bina, etc. till Malchus. So every level has Shabbos, and the B'chinas HaShabbos Shabbai, V'gimul Rishaynos Shabbai. It's in the three levels, because the idea of Shvisa, not Hamshacha further, rather Halal Amayla. The 6 days of work are midas. That's where the draw, it gets drawn down to pass it on. That's the idea of the R going lower down. This is the idea where you're talking going lower to create the world. So again, this is where you're starting to see how midas and moichin are very, very different, even in their etzem. Whereas moichin's whole idea is aliyah l'mayla, and midas is where you take the same level and you're mamshich it on to the next level to be able to go down further. And we'll continue this vart about Shabbos and the difference between moichin and midas, and then we'll tie it back to the ruach and the neshama, the two levels in the neshama, where one of them brings out the idea of Hamshacha Lamata, Midas, and the other one's Halal Lamayla, the idea of Moichin. Again, the same idea of Ratzim Meshuv, and probably we're going to get back to what we said, Tainug and Ratzim as well, in the beginning of the Maamar. A guten Tag, a freilich and good gewenst.